won't bore you too much. As Jason indicated, Point Ruston's a $1.2 billion mixed-use, we call it a resort-inspired village. It's located here on Commencement Bay on the north side of Tacoma. MC Construction is the owner, developer, and builder of the project. MC has a decades-long history of successfully developing thousands of single and multifamily homes, along with numerous commercial projects, hotels, office buildings, golf course amenities. Point Ruston sits on 97 acres of land, of which 30 are in the water, 12 are up on a bluff, 55 are along 1 mile of at-grade shoreline. Development of the site includes responsibility for mitigation of 18 miles of DNR tidelands, and also includes 12 acres, includes collaboration on an adjacent 12 acres belonging to Metropolitan Park District. The site straddles the municipalities of Tacoma to the south and Ruston to the north. Point Ruston was once home to one of the heaviest industrial uses in the Puget Sound, a large-scale copper smelting operation. The Asarco Mining Company operated this Tacoma smelter from 1890 to 1986. It was the second highest producer of copper in the country. The smelter was massive in size, with buildings over 100 feet tall and a 571-foot smokestack. To give you a sense of the scale of the structure, this is 34 feet less than the 605-foot Seattle Space Station. Not only did the smelting operation take the waterfront out of commission for public use, but the road that ran by it was choked by a single-lane tunnel that all but cut off access to Point Defiance Park to the north and the rest of the town of Ruston by this scenic waterfront route. In 1983, after almost 100 years of continuous operation, the EPA declared Tacoma's Asarco smelter a Superfund site. The primary contamination was concentrations of lead and arsenic in the soil and tailings along the shoreline. In 1993 and 1994, the town of Ruston, City of Tacoma, and Tacoma Metropolitan Park District and Asarco met with the community and developed a vision for the future of the site. More than 1,200 people participated in this public process. Asarco recognized that the clearest path to harvesting value from the polluted site was to negotiate its cleanup in the context of obtaining entitlements for its reuse. These entitlements came partially in the form of a consent decree entered into with the EPA in 1996, specifying what cleanup work would be performed to reclaim the property and surrounding lands. In 2003, Asarco established a $100 million trust fund with EPA oversight for cleanup costs on its properties across the U.S. The Asarco cleanup projects in Ruston and North Tacoma received significant funding from this trust. In 2004, the last major building on the smelter site was demolished. With remediation well underway and cleanup responsibilities defined, Asarco issued an RFP to developers for the sale of the property. The RFP attracted 60 respondents from all over the country. In early 2005, after numerous callings of the field of respondents, MC Construction was chosen to acquire and develop the site and created a new entity called Point Ruston, LLC, to do it. No good deed goes unpunished, and Asarco filed for bankruptcy after contracting with MC, but before the sale of the land was consummated. Completing the purchase of the property now entailed multi-party agreements with Asarco, the Federal Bankruptcy Court, the EPA, and others, whereby Point Ruston accepted responsibility for the obligations and conditions contained in the consent decree. In a new series of public meetings, Point Ruston compared and contrasted other successful mixed-use developments and unveiled plans for the Point Ruston project. The revamped master development plan was nothing short of a new neighborhood with 36 single-family houses, up to 1,500 multifamily residences, a commercial and retail core with up to 1 million square feet of retail, Class A office, and hospitality space, serviced by a 4-story parking structure with space for over 1,400 cars, and including a large hotel and conference center. The heart of the project would be waterfront public space with a 1-acre grand plaza with active splash park, places for large and small outdoor concerts and events designed to be a place where residents and visitors to the theater, restaurants, and stores could eat, mingle, and relax. This grand plaza would be the gateway to a mile-long shoreline park fronting Commencement Bay known as the Waterway. Integrating development of this magnitude into the surrounding community would require installation of over $30 million in on- and off-site public infrastructure. This infrastructure took the form not only of construction of streets and installation of utilities, but also some project-specific reclamation activities. Largest of these was dismantling of a massive dock system supported by over 2,300 piers. These piers will all need to be removed, and then 18 acres of underwater tailings beneath where the piers had been, covered with thousands of yards of rock. This rock fill capped and provided a shore break that armored the coast and supported the public park that would follow. Point Ruston designed and constructed Waterwater Park and then transferred the land to Metro Parks, ensuring public access to the waterfront in perpetuity. First development on the site was the 36 single-family residences constructed on the bluff overlooking Commencement Bay, aptly named Stack Hill. Construction of the first building on the waterfront began in 2012. This is the Copper Line building, a $70 million mixed-use building with 173 apartments, 44 condominiums. It has 21,000 square feet of retail. This early retail included Dulce C, an Italian bakery, 2-town neighborhood pub, a 5,000 square foot fitness center, Coldwell Banker Bain real estate office, Franciscan plastic surgery, and a Tranquility dental practice. Following this was the Century building in 2014 with 95 apartments, 40 more waterfront condominiums, 55,000 square feet of retail, housing a state-of-the-art 9-screen Century Theater, sushi bar, Stack Burger and Whiskey Bar, a Wild Fin, currently one of the highest grossing restaurants in Pierce County, the Jewel Box Cafe, a little laser here, also got South Sound running, and the Blue Octopus Art Gallery and Champagne Bar. And then, in the summertime, Wheels of Fun bicycle rental. Since that time, we've added an additional 30,000 square feet of retail adjacent to the Century building that includes Ice Cream Social, Tacoma original handcrafted ice cream parlor, Purpose, women's contemporary boutique, Borelli's, a 6,000 square foot, 2-story wood-fired pizza restaurant, Fishtail Brewing, Olympia, Washington. And opening this month, Indigo Urgent Care, soon thereafter, Tickled Pink Gifts and Apparel, OB Credit Union, the original credit union of Olympia Brew, Rebels and Lovers, Women's Boutique, Pink Polish Nail Salon, and Italio, Innovata Salon. South of the original, well, we currently have 3 large buildings under construction, and we'll break ground on 2 more in the next 90 days. South of the original Copper Line building is the Baker building. This is a collection of 162 new luxury condominiums and 5,000 square feet of office space. We offered pre-sales on these condominiums in February of last year and sold out in 90 days. The Baker building will include Village View condominiums, allowing us to offer ownership at Point Ruston for the first time at under $400,000. We'll begin delivering these in the fall of this year. Across from the Baker building, we're constructing a 110-unit senior assisted living facility to be operated by a new partner at Point Ruston, GenCare. This is a rendering of the facility. On the north side of the Grand Plaza, you now see a second crane. We're building a 185-key Silver Cloud Hotel and Conference Center. This is a full-service hotel with signature restaurant, 24-hour room service, 12,000 square feet of ballroom space overlooking Commencement Bay, rooftop pool, and a 4,000 square foot spa. The hotel will open in late 2019. Across from the Copper Line building will soon break ground on another 200 apartments, above 20,000 square feet of premium retail. The building has a 10% affordable housing component, providing for 20 units to be rented at below market rates. So that's Point Ruston today by the numbers. 55,000 square feet of this, 182 that. It's a big project, it's a lot. But before I talk about what's the most exciting thing we're doing at Point Ruston for me, I want to move away from statistics for a minute and try and describe the experience that all this place building has been designed to foster and perpetuate. It starts with our neighbors. Point Ruston is nestled between the Ruston Way Esplanade. I can't think of a better setting of this presentation, looking out the window here, to the southeast. That looks about like it does this morning. At Point Defiance Park and the Vashon Island Fairleigh Terminal to the northwest. Ruston Way Esplanade has 6 of Tacoma's best-known waterfront restaurants, situated along 3 miles of scenic Commencement Bay shoreline. 1.5 million people turn out every year to walk, run, bike, paddleboard, parasail, and recreate along this path. Point Defiance Park is the second largest urban park in the U.S., with 760 acres of old-growth forest, a zoo, aquarium, historic fort, scenic beaches, and 25 miles of trails. It hosts in excess of 3.2 million visitors each year. At the entrance to the park is the ferry terminal to Vashon Island that logs an additional 750,000 people every year. Between these two destinations, Point Ruston and a new peninsula park that is the result of $60 million in Tacoma Metro Park District funds. 12-acre park takes the bike and pedestrian paths in front of Point Ruston and delivers them via a 600-foot long bridge, 60 feet high, over the entrance to the ferry terminal and into Point Defiance Park. Peninsula Park has a stunning waterfront amphitheater with a stage backing up to Commencement Bay. And after several years of construction, we'll see this opening this year. Point Ruston is the community focal point of these long-beloved outdoor recreational amenities. In addition to being a destination in its own right, Point Ruston is where you start and end the day of boating, the day at the beach, the zoo, the aquarium, at the park. The point is, Point Ruston is not a pioneering location, but rather a new community on a well-worn path. So how do we improve upon this experience? If you ask the people that live at or near Point Ruston, here's what you're likely to hear. Or here's a grocery store. Makes sense, right? Live, work, play. But if you think about it, what people actually do is live, work, refuel, sleep, play, repeat. Well, we've got an idea for refuel that we think goes beyond this grocery store. And this is what's really got us excited right now. We'll be breaking ground shortly on the Point Ruston Public Market. Public Market is a 30,000 square foot purpose-built building with a 2-story grand hall, roll-up doors around the perimeter of the building, outdoor public seating, ample parking, The Point Ruston Public Market is inspired by other public markets. Some you may not have visited. Oxbow Market in Napa, California. Some presumably you have. Pike Place Market. This is the Ferry Terminal Building in San Francisco. And Granville Island Public Market in Vancouver, BC. Point Ruston Public Market will have a carefully curated selection of offerings, including a butcher, seafood market and grill, wine and cheese, outstanding produce, bread bakery, flowers, coffee roaster, and much more, all supported by a traditional grocery store with the daily staples you need and expect. It'll be open 7 days a week, year-round, be utilized as a community gathering place with demonstration kitchens and a culinary education facility and performance areas. I want to conclude today with a sneak peek at just 3 of the businesses who have partnered with us to bring you the Point Ruston Public Market. How many people are familiar with Owens Meats? Couple? So I wasn't familiar with Owens Meats, but I'm not originally from the state of Washington. It amazes me how many people are familiar with this small butcher from Clayton, Washington. They've been continuously operating for 130 years. Owens Meats is now in the hands of the 4th and 5th generation Owens family. Based in Clay Elm, Washington, they credit their success with relentless focus on customer service, quality, selection, and price. They sell only USDA choice and prime meats from the state of Washington. And this commitment to choice meats or better includes all of their smoked and encased meats, highly unusual in the industry. 96% of their clientele travel from outside Clay Elm, Washington to shop at their butcher store. If you'd like to enjoy their products today, we've installed one of their refrigerated meat machines at Point Ruston. Has anybody seen this yet? All right, so it's quite something. We're not alone. These meat machines are in Nordstrom stores. They're in Filson headquarters. I think they've got 33 of them now. And the family members behind this initiative are 2 girls in their early 20s, Madison and Letitia, who have now rolled out 34 of these meat machines. And the girls can literally monitor on their iPhone the volume of what each meat machine is doing in a day, a week, by graph, the temperature of the meat machine, how much sausage is left. It's really amazing. The Point Ruston Cheesery. These are pictures from the Oxbow Market, but the model's similar enough that I felt it was reasonable to use it. This is being brought to us by a Tacoma native and Ruston, Washington resident, Heather Parkinson Firestein. Heather has a diverse background that includes coffee buying for Starbucks and a passion for all things wine and cheese. Her artisanal cheeses will change with the seasons of various regions where they are sourced. She will do both cut-to-order cheese and pre-made cheese plates you can grab to take on a boat trip or visit the shoreline or the park. She plans to carry in excess of 1,000 different labels of wine. City Fish, pardon me, is the original fishmonger at Pike Place Market. They were established in 1923 and differentiate themselves with their boat-to-throat program, whereby they negotiate contracts directly with the fishermen rather than through a distributor. By doing this, they're able to pay the fishermen more while still charging the consumer less. The fishermen then participate in Meet the Fisherman Days at the public market, where they answer questions about their product and help promote it. Andrew Wickman, an owner and operator of City Fish, will be expanding City Fish's offerings beyond what you see today at Pike Place Market. City Fish at the Point Ruston Public Market will have a grill to prepare your fish where you wait if you like, as well as live oyster, crab, lobster, and shellfish tanks. City Fish is looking forward to collaborating with the other merchants at Ruston Public Market on a perpetual series of seasonal themed events. Opening in the fourth quarter of this year, we hope you will make Point Ruston Public Market a permanent replacement for wherever you buy your groceries today. We promise to deliver outstanding selection and value with an upbeat shopping experience you won't find elsewhere. Thank you for having me today.